December 18th, 2022. For football fans around the world, this wasn't just another World Cup final. It was the final chapter of Lionel Messi's greatest quest. After nearly 2 decades of dominating football, Messi had won almost everything the sport had to offer. League titles, Champions Leagues, Ballon d'Or awards, and the Copa America. But one trophy was still missing: the FIFA World Cup. Standing in his way was France, the defending champions led by Kylian Mbappé, a 23-year-old superstar already considered the future of football. What followed was a match so dramatic, so chaotic, and so unforgettable that many fans now call it the greatest World Cup final ever played. The atmosphere inside Lusail Stadium was incredible. Nearly 90,000 fans packed the stadium, while millions more watched around the globe. For Argentina, the stakes couldn't have been higher. The country had waited since 1986 for another World Cup title. More importantly, this felt like Messi's last realistic chance to lift the trophy that had always escaped him. France had their own piece of history to chase. No nation had successfully defended a World Cup title since Brazil in 1962. A victory would cement France as one of the greatest international teams ever assembled. The stage was set, a football legend chasing his dream, a young superstar trying to build his own legacy. From the opening whistle, Argentina looked sharper. They pressed aggressively, moved the ball quickly, and attacked with confidence. France looked uncomfortable. Mbappé struggled to get involved, and Argentina controlled most of the early play. Their dominance paid off in the 23rd minute. Angel Di Maria burst into the penalty area and was brought down by Ousmane Dembélé. The referee immediately awarded a penalty. The responsibility fell to Lionel Messi. The pressure was enormous, but Messi looked calm. He stepped forward and rolled the ball into the corner, sending the goalkeeper the wrong way. Argentina led 1-0. The dream was alive. Instead of protecting their lead, Argentina kept attacking. Just 13 minutes later, they produced one of the finest team goals of the tournament. A flowing counterattack sliced through the French defense. Quick passes moved the ball from one end of the pitch to the other before Alexis McAllister delivered a perfect pass across goal. Waiting at the far post was Angel Di Maria. He calmly finished. Argentina 2, France 0. The stadium erupted. France looked stunned. The first time it seemed possible that the final could become a one-sided affair. Things became so bad for France that manager Didier Deschamps made 2 substitutions before halftime. It was an extraordinary decision in a World Cup final, but his team desperately needed a response. Unfortunately for France, little changed after the break. Argentina continued controlling the game. The clock ticked down. French attacks failed to create danger. With just 10 minutes remaining, Argentina still held a comfortable 2-goal lead. Fans around the world were already imagining Messi lifting the World Cup. Then football reminded everyone why it remains the most unpredictable sport on earth. In the 80th minute, France won a penalty. Kylian Mbappé stepped up. He blasted the ball into the net. Argentina 2, France 1. The goal gave France hope, but many believed it had arrived too late. There simply wasn't enough time left. Then came one of the most incredible moments in World Cup history. Just 97 seconds later, Mbappé struck again. A quick passing move opened space near the edge of the penalty area. Mbappé met the return pass with a brilliant volley that flew past the goalkeeper. Argentina 2, France 2. In less than 2 minutes, the entire match had changed. Argentina had dominated for 80 minutes. Now everything was level. The stadium was in shock. Extra time was needed. Players from both sides were exhausted, but neither team was willing to settle. The match continued at a remarkable pace. Then, in the 108th minute, Lionel Messi appeared once again. A scramble inside the French penalty area created chaos. The goalkeeper made an initial save, but Messi reacted fastest to the loose ball. His effort crossed the line. Argentina 3, France 2. The Argentine players exploded with celebration. Messi was minutes away from football immortality again, but France refused to quit. With only a few minutes remaining, Mbappé fired a shot that struck the arm of an Argentine defender. Penalty, another chance, another moment of pressure. Mbappé stepped forward with history on the line. He scored Argentina 3, France 3, hat trick in a World Cup final. It was one of the greatest individual performances football had ever seen. Suddenly, the final had become a battle between two icons, Messi and Mbappé, present versus future, legend versus superstar. Yet there was still one final twist. Deep into extra time, France nearly completed the comeback. A long ball found substitute Randal Kolo Muani behind the Argentine defense. He was through on goal with only the goalkeeper to beat. The entire World Cup came down to one shot. Kolo Muani struck the ball toward the corner. Argentine goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez somehow made the save. It was a moment that instantly entered football history. Had the ball gone in, France would almost certainly have won the World Cup. Instead, the match went to penalties. Penalty shootouts are football's ultimate test of nerve. Everything comes down to composure. Everything comes down to pressure. France took the first penalty. Mbappé scored. Messi responded with a goal of his own. Then came the turning point. French winger Kingsley Coman saw his penalty saved by Martinez. Moments later, Aurélien Tchouameni missed the target completely. Argentina suddenly had control. Their players stepped forward one after another and converted their penalties. The dream was now within reach. Finally, Gonzalo Montiel walked toward the spot. If he scored, Argentina would become world champions. The whistle blew. Montiel struck the ball into the corner. Goal. Argentina had done it. The players sprinted across the pitch. Fans cried. An entire nation celebrated. And Lionel Messi finally completed football. The images from that night became iconic. Messi holding the World Cup trophy, teammates lifting him into the air, millions of Argentine fans celebrating across the globe. After years of heartbreak and near misses, the greatest player of his generation had finally won the one trophy that mattered most. But this final wasn't only about Messi. It was also the night Kylian Mbappé proved he was ready to carry football into the future. His hat trick should have been enough to win almost any final in history. Instead, it became part of an even greater story. A story that featured 6 goals, extra time, penalties, comebacks, heartbreak, and redemption. Years from now, football fans will still talk about Argentina versus France. They'll remember Messi's crowning moment. They'll remember Mbappé's incredible performance. And they'll remember a final that seemed determined to rewrite history every few minutes. Because this wasn't just a football match, it was a masterpiece. The perfect ending to Messi's journey, and perhaps the greatest World Cup final ever played.